succeed in your first game. Supervive plays like a top-down hero shooter
There
with
we go.
WASD character movement and aim-based projectiles.
Okay.
Each hunter has a primary attack as well as 4 unique abilities. You can sneak with left control and jump by pressing spacebar. If you press and hold spacebar, you'll glide while airborne.
Gliding is essential for navigation, but also leaves you extremely vulnerable.
If you take any damage while gliding, you'll immediately be stunned and smashed into the ground, or the abyss, which predictably results in death.
Yeah, that's bad.
Combat in Supervive on the whole is lethal, and most hunters can be downed with a few well-placed abilities or attacks. But there are also lots of ways to recover from an unfortunate early int.
Oh,
When your health is reduced to 0, you'll be knocked into a wisp state. If
Oh.
an ally hunter stands on your wisp, you'll be revived with a portion of your health. If an enemy stands on you, you'll die and leave behind a death box containing some of your resources.
You drop into the map at level 1, so you'll need to power up in order to stand a chance against other teams.
Kill monsters to gain levels and unlock new
Seems like the
abilities.
map is pretty big.
Monsters can also drop equipment, which grant bonus stats to your hunter. You can wear 2 unique pieces of equipment at once, along with your armor, backpack, and boots. Upgrade your equipment by picking up duplicates, or by grabbing power shards from defeated enemy players. Along with equipment, monsters can also drop consumable items. The most common consumables are Vive Beans, which restore a small amount of health and mana, but you'll find others as well. Be careful when using healing consumables, as you'll take more damage while chowing down. You can also find powers from rare monsters and locked vaults across the map. Powers are completely new abilities for your hunter, and can either be passive or active. Powers can totally shift your strategy, so be on the lookout for potential synergies and find your favorites. If you need a moment to prepare for the encroaching storm, or to recover from a close fight, look for a base camp. Claiming a base camp will grant vision of the surrounding area, as well as give your team a place to heal, repair armor, or cook your Vive Beans into a more potent brew. You can also recall to your base camp from elsewhere on the map.
Interesting.
Finally, even if an ally has been killed, there are still ways to get them back in the game. If the coast is clear, you can channel a full revive directly from their death box, or find a revive beacon to bring back your entire team, as long as you can survive enemy hunters looking for an easy target. So drop in, power up, revive your team.
So there's plenty of stuff going on.
Squad of hunters in the eye of the storm. But these are just the basics. There's lots more to discover in Supervive, and new content gets added to the game with every patch.
Join the Supervive Discord to check out recent changes and learn more about upcoming playtests.
Okay, so there's a lot going on. A lot of skills, abilities, and stuff. Okay, a voice output. Okay. Open mic. Recommended open mic. Team voice enabled on. Push to talk. Push to talk key. Jump. Go. Party voice is exclusive to players in your current party. Push to talk. Save and close. Let's see settings. Let me check settings here. WASD. Spacebar, jump and glide. Sneak, left control, interact F. Left mouse, right mouse button, left shift, ER. Ability 5 ultimate is R. Level up modifier, left alt, recall B. Range, inventory. C or Q, V. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Spray, wispy mode. Cancel target, confirm target. Hmm. Show open map on M and tab. Okay. Game. Learning. Aiming laser. Draw the secondary aiming laser which emits from your hero at the height of your hero. Should I? Not sure. Your character ground circles. Huh. Video. Innovate full screen. Show FPS. Color vision deficiency. No. Graphics API 12x. I wonder which one is better, DirectX 12 or 11. I need to check. Medium, effects quality, pure, shading, shadow quality, low, lumen, nah, smart sharpening, light, audio, it's all in half, flavor, combat abilities. Can I change this already? There is no save button. I think it auto saves maybe. Camera. Let's do standard, I think. Dead zone. Okay. UI. Hardware cursor. On, maybe? Anything else I can I think that's pretty much it, I think. That's pretty much it. Back to lobby. Okay, let's see. Alpha tester, okay. What's this? Rewards. Level 20. What's this? Loki Chonker, Wisp Legendary. Hunter unlock. I don't know what is this. What is my current level? I don't know. Level 1. Okay. So okay, I see. So each level I was confused because it was showing up to level 20, not from level 1. So it's this one. Okay. How do you go back? I press escape. Can I go back? Home. There we go. Progression. Hunters. So, which one I have unlocked now? Protector. Strike. Is these ones that are highlighted? Kingpin. Jewel. Okay, let's start from the start. Passive. Dealing damage ignites enemies in flames, dealing damage over time. Flamethrower ignites enemies. Hold to fire your flamethrower. Firebolt. Shoot damaging fireball that spreads in night to nearby enemies. Flames cold bash. Dash. Damaging. Sorry. Damaging enemies and applying in night. Has 2 charges. Flame shield. Pull in enemies, dealing damage and apply anti-heal. Gain a shield if you hit an enemy. Ah, okay. 9 seconds, 12 seconds. 0 seconds. Okay. This is the ultimate jetpack. Fly forward, setting the ground behind you on fire. Applies ignites to enemy. Ignite. Passive. Gathering storm. Passive attacks. Apply static to enemies. At 4 stacks, they are fully static charge. Shells can spawn lightning orbs that reset. Surge. Left shifts. Cooldown. Lightning bolt. Fires a lightning bolt. Fires a bolt of lightning. Applies 1 stack of static. Lightning spear. Hold and release to throw a lightning spear. The spear knocks enemies back, stunning if they hit a wall. Ah. Lightning javelin. E. Strike the ground with lightning, pulling in enemies. Applies 2 stacks of static. Eye of the storm. Press to launch into the air. Reactivate to crash down. Applies static to enemies and spawns lightning orbs. Okay, Kingpin. Feed the beast. Knocks and assists grant bonus max HP. You deal bonus backstab damage. Buckshot fires a burst of slugs. Kaiju grasp. Extend your arm, pulling the first enemy hit. Grabs wisps along the way. Brute dash. Dash go further while airborne. Iron smash. Smash your fist down, damaging and stunning enemies. Kaiju blast. Fire 2 energy blast. Deal damage and applies anti-heal. Okay. Strike. Passive. You shoot. Your shots mark enemies. Shooting a marked enemy target deals extra damage. Snipe. Fire your rifle. Disengage. Fire a shot that propels you backward and grounds enemies. Hit. Resets you when you knock back an enemy. Eyes in the sky. Launch your scout to gain vision and apply anti-heal. Reactivate to create a ward. Okay. Wait, so there is... wait, you have mana? I see 30... Wait, what the hell? Fire, you have mana, huh? Fire a long-range shot that pierces terrain. Protector. Passive, you can pick up and carry allied wisps. Moonshot, fire a shot that restores mana and deals ramping damage. After not firing for a brief time, your next shot is empowered. Bound by Fate. Fire a shot that roots and damages in an AoE after a delay. Lighter than air. Dash, go further while airborne. Rejuvenating aura. Summon a healing zone. Reactivate to throw. Divine Intervention, channel a heal on an ally. Can be used on ally wisps to resurrect them. Ah, so this is for a... You definitely want a Luna in your party. If you're playing with someone, for sure. Okay. I might try this guy. I might try this guy. Isn't there squads, duels, arena practice, start custom game? Interesting. There is no solo, huh? Loadout. Okay. Call sign. Mm. YOLO. YOLO boomer. Wait, why do we have two? YOLO. Oh, there we go. Avatar. Guess we can have only one. Okay, that's pretty much it, huh? Oh, let's go in with duels, I guess. Can play solo. You cannot play solo. Closed party. Wait, is it closed now? I think it's closed, right? Let's see. Let's see what other hunters. Bishop seems interesting. Rocketing. Ah. Deal damage to become empowered. Heal when you knock an enemy or kill a creep. I mean, this one is more like my thing, I think. Heavy attack. Wild teetered chaining. When attacking a fly and heal. Oh, I see. Throw a quick dash attack, 3 charges. Throw a teeter that attaches to enemies or walls. Reactivate to pull yourself toward the target. Ah. Becoming vulnerable, then strike back with a heavy attack. Killing an enemy with this attack resets its cooldown. Something like Tryndamere ulti combined with either Katarina reset or Darius reset from League of Legends. When you kill, you reset the cooldown. Okay. This is more my thing, I think. Looks, yeah, more melee damage, melee type. Ghost. Mid Ranger. You have vision of injured hunters through the fog of war. You can climb tall ledges. Damn, this seems kind of crazy. Okay, we got a match here. Wait, didn't I close my party? Didn't I close my party? Can you even, I'm not sure if it is auto forcing you to fill up another one, or you can queue as solo if you lock the party. It said, didn't it say locked when I looked in the lobby? Let's see. Hype squad. 28 hype. So is it 28 people? 28 people? I think. Not Whoa.
Storm shift detected.
Okay, what
Exercise
was
caution.
that? Sure. Mana blade.
First blood.
Mana helmet. Vampiric blade. Which should I switch for?
First elimination.
I don't know. Wait, how do
Captured.
I don't even know. How do I pick up? And what do I do? I don't know. I'm not sure. What am I doing here, bro?
Warning. Storm closing.
Not sure what am I doing here. F to revive. Pack up base. Pair armor. Huh. I don't know. Interesting. Let's see. So this is our base, I guess. Hacking. I guess I need to defend him while he's hacking.
Vault open.
Okay. Vault open. T2 backpack. Omnivamp Rune. Passive. Okay. Ability Haste. I'm not sure what is the difference between this and T2? Free consumables. Oh, interesting. This one shows purple. Huh, interesting.
Storm tightening.
Oh shit.
That squad has only one survivor.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Jump pad? Oh, and glide. Okay. I don't know, I'm just following him. I'm just following him.
Warning, storm closing.
Okay. Okay, let's follow up our friend here.
The storm is closing.
Oh shit.
You are the last allied survivor.
GG's. These guys know what they're doing.
Enemy UAV online.
Okay. Ah, that was good for first time. It's a lot going on. It is a lot going on. It is a lot going on, bro. Practice shiv. One unlock available. Brawl. Yeah. Okay, we got this guy. Let's switch. So I need to do. It's close party. I don't understand what is close, when it's close, when it's. It was like this, and then went. Someone joined me. I wanna go solo. Guess I'm gonna leave on open. Maybe that's closed. Okay. Hunters. Well. Okay. Let's go. Can I go practice? Yeah, there we go. Let's go practice. Let's practice. I want to practice a little bit with this one. The game seems yeah, seems interesting. Armory, obstacle course, bestiary. What's this one? Revive, prepare. Items, powers, perks, and more. Pick up, rally. Huh? Activate statue. Mana rune, passive. Boost movement speed, remove slow, and grants hazard immunity for all nearby allies. They're all smooth. Tech blade. Ability haste. So weapons. Where do you see your weapons? You want armor. Starter damage weapon. So you can hold two weapons. Armor and boots. Okay. These are your abilities. See, that's the spell that I pick up. This is the backpack. So I can hold. You can hold one consumable. Okay, have another free slot. Okay, so that's one. That's epic, right? Purple. You can hold two epic. And let's say Tech blade. No, that's a weapon. Oh, all these are weapons. Ability haste. Move speed. Tech helmet maybe? Or ability power. So you can hold two of these. Try these two combination. Bladed helm, vampiric blade. Boots. So each time you pick up boots, you can upgrade them. I see. That's max purple. Okay, powers. Mana rune. So these are 1 star and 2 stars. These are actives. There are some passives here. Jammer. Another passive, scuba gear. Become invisible while out of combat, while in water. Corolla is the one that I picked. Okay, so that these are powers. Ghillie suit, become a slow-moving bush. Free spy. Remote laser. Mana drain grenade. Oh. So. Are these better depending on the star, or the stars here don't mean anything? More passive. Bushwhacker. Leaving bush. When out of combat, grants temporary move speed and stealth. Berry eater. Enter bush to eat and heal yourself. So you can have only one passive, right? Where I see the passive? I don't see it. I think this is the slot for passive. Let's see. Hunters you knock take longer to revive. Touch an allied wisp to apply persistent revive effect. Enemies touching the wisp remove the effect. Generative armor. Huh. Uh. So, how do I get this passive? I'm a bit confused. I'm not sure how you grab the passive. So this is mana rune. Okay, so drop down that one. I see. Okay, so it doesn't change if you I see. Okay. Health packs. I don't know, health pack. Picking up the health pack heals the target until damage is taken. Bungee shot. Brush roar. Air blast. Sandball. Bloodstone. Temporary shield and omnivamp. Robber raccoon. Conspire with raccoons to steal items in the area. Little cook. Consumables for you. Abyss specialist. Resets the cooldown of your first movement ability used while over the abyss, excluding ultimates. Homing missile. Rescue grenade. Interesting. If you have even more powers here. These are red. So that means they are better, right? Replicate. That's a weapon. Okay. Interesting. Duplicate all items in the area, including inventory items. What the fuck? Be kind, rewind. Rewinds your location and health to where you were 5 seconds ago. Radioactive rounds, passive. Your damage is 9 times more effective at destroying armor. What the hell? So I'm guessing, yeah, goes into the passive here. Regenerative, respawn beacon. Okay. Adrenaline rush. Channel to fully restore health, mana, and cooldowns. You are vulnerable while channeling. Refreshes on knock. Tactical nuke. Call down a nuke, dealing massive damage in an area and leaving behind a fire zone. This ability damages allies. Okay. Team Frog Jump. Launch yourself and nearby allies upwards. Guardian Archangel. Touch an ally wisp. Okay, that box. Persistent revive effect. Power Shuffler. Activating a power causes it to reroll into a different power with a massively reduced cooldown. Probably you want this, I guess. Huh. Kaiju Scale. Launch a meteor that spawns an ally kaiju, dealing damage and stunning enemies in the area. Counts towards kaiju power set bonus. For this one, I guess, Kaiju Scale. Kaiju Eye. Call in a drone to mark enemy locations. Counts towards kaiju power set bonuses. Kaiju Heart. Release a wave of energy that knocks away enemies. Destroys enemy projectiles and grants a shield. Counts towards... So these two seem good. Stasis Slam. While in stasis, you are invulnerable but unable to use abilities or moves. Slams the ground, knocking enemies away, entering stasis and healing over time. Interesting. Okay. These are consumables. Relocate. Oh, wait, what? Anywhere but here. Relocate to a random location inside the next circle. Wow, okay. Could be good and bad. Scan grenade, jump pad, ethereal smoke, hypervive, prophet's potion, T1 backpack, T2 backpack, 3 consumables, and T3 it's max with the backpack. Giant power shard splits into a power shard for you and each of your teammates. Power shards are used to upgrade equipment. Oh, Vive Bean. Spike Wall. Souls. Armor Soul. Your team's armor regenerates after avoiding damage. Wait, Biome Soul. What is this? How you get this one?
Soul secured. Nicely done.
So you need to secure it. Where does it show? I don't see it anywhere. Interesting. Damage soul. So I guess these you kill some mobs, right? Some AI in the game. Maybe some powerful AI or whatever. Powerful mobs that drop those. Rare mobs or something? Okay. So, what the fuck happened on the ground? Did I drop so many armors? What the hell? Okay. I don't have that one. Let's see. Respawn enemies. What's this one? Oh, so you stand next to it and drops Vive Bean. So you get you can at the base camp you can brew this into a view brew. Okay, interesting. Can you also upgrade this? It says 1 out of 3, or you can store 3. Oh, you can store 3, so they stack. This one is 2. Yo, thanks for the follow. Diot Drago. Ah, italiano. Ciao, ciao, come stai? Grazie per il follow. Non lo so com'è. Ho fatto solo una partita e sembra divertente. È tipo un Battle Royale. Uh, una frega di cose nel gioco che succedono. There are monsters here. Okay, so I'm doing some practice now with this hero that I unlocked. I played only one match. Okay. That's my right click. Okay. Okay, so you... Oh, this one, you hold space and right click. No, wait. And you glide. You glide around. Okay, and then you... While on the ground, if you hold, you throw these projectiles when you hold. Okay, I see. Press for a series of melee attacks. Hold for to fire range blast. Ok. Simile a LOL? No. Questo è un Battle Royale. È una mappa abbastanza grande. Hai power-ups. You need to kill. Devi ammazzare mostri e altri player. No, it's a bit. There's a lot going on. 5 beans. So you have items also. You can do upgrades, I guess. These are your skills. Sure. So you kill monsters to level up. Monsters drop items. There are chests also. Anywhere but here. This is the one that relocates into a random location inside the next circle. Okay. So what's this one? So I have air dash. This one is space and shift. Okay. E. This one pulls. Wait. To restart. So this one, throw a teeter that attaches to enemies or walls. Reactivate to pull yourself to the target, towards the target. So it needs to grapple something. Oh, I see. There we go. Or you can use it if on an enemy to go in. And this is the ultimate that I don't have it yet. Let's see, more enemies here. Jump and right click does that, and then that one. The 2-time? No. So you hold, normal hold for this. You launch yourself towards the enemy. And you jump. No. Jump and click or jump and hold. Right click. Oh, it's left click. Jump and left click. Hold left click. No? There we go. This seems like the Aatrox thing. This one. Okay, so now I have the ultimate. Becoming vulnerable, then strike back with a heavy attack. Killing an enemy with this attack resets its cooldown. Okay. Free spy. Let's go back here. So holding space makes you glide. Okay. Pressing you jump. Let's go back. Let's do bestiary, obstacle, armory, arena. Let's do bestiary. Let's see what is this one. Plumped. The hell is this? Spread. Okay, so you jump. Glide. Okay. These are all the mobs in the game, I guess, to practice with. Oh shit. I'm in a bad spot here. Oh. Okay, I died. I was sitting too much in that zone over there. I think these are the AI heroes that you can test, I guess, against. No more mana? What happened? What the hell happened? I don't know what happened. What? I'm confused. Did I press something? Huh? The hell? Okay, so control, holding control zooms you out, but you are slower. Okay, I see. I don't know what happened here. Interesting. Something happened. Is it the servers died or something? Not sure. Connecting to game server. I think maybe the server died or something. We going back? Back to lobby? Restart the game? Let's restart the game. I don't know what happened. Not sure what happened. Okay. We good? So do this. Let's see if now I can play solo. Final match. In queue. Let's see. I was looking at heroes. Let's see the other one. Myth. This is the archer. Shiv. This one is range, also passive. Deal increased damage for each arc slinger. Left mouse button hit. Heal when you knock an enemy. Okay, we found the game. Okay, so I need to go back on close, but even on when I was on close parties, people kept joining. Probably knows what he's doing, I think. Okay, let's see. Oh, there is music. I can hear the soundtrack. Connecting to game server. Match found. 25 hype. So 25 people. I saw 28 last match. There was
Enemy UAV
28.
online.
Okay.
Storm shift detected. Exercise caution. You are the drop leader.
Wait, I'm the drop leader? Didn't I pass the drop leader? I don't even know. Whatever, let's go there.
First blood.
Okay, that's not good.
An ally is down.
Well, rip. That went. that was short. That was short. Okay. Oh, it's a bit rough as a melee. They should, especially on this guy. I mean, I had the. I could do the range attack, right? Let's go back on close party. If I find again. So I need to hold. Hold to fire a range blast. So first time you spawn, you have only this attack and these two attacks, I think, right? Execution slam. Press. To knock an enemy. I need to press for this one. Charge dash, that's hold. That's the where it showed the line on the ground. Charge and release a dash attack. Air slam, while airborne, strike down, slows and stuns enemies. Huh. Anti-heal spin while teetering. Dun, da, da, da. Yeah, it still puts me with someone in party, even with close party. Okay, so there's no way to play solo. no way to play solo. I mean, the game is interesting. Seems fun once you probably it's even more fun once you learn all the things and you know what to do. Like right now I'm a little bit confused. Like what are the stuff, what is the best stuff you need to pick up, and yeah, how do you get the soul thing? How do you need to explore a bit the map, I guess.
Detecting a storm shift. Stay alert.
Am I the drop leader? I don't even know. I do not even know. I do not even know. No, it's not me. It's him. Yo, where are we going? I think you need to select a drop. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's a guy here.
An enemy is down.
Nice. We killed two or one? We killed two, I think. Okay, good job, good job. Let's capture the camp, I think. You need to capture the camp.
Base camp captured.
Doesn't have anything they just found, so jump pad, I guess I can take that. 81 armor, 81. That's 100. Go for that. Quick blade upgraded.
The storm is closing.
Let's do that. Okay, I think we're good to go. Not sure what I'm doing. My first time playing this game. Oh, someone was here, I think. Yeah, someone died here. Luca. Let's capture his base. I think he sees us. I see the eye icon above us.
Base camp captured.
Someone close? Someone just died. I think he's this way.
First elimination.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that guy went. We need to kill some more monsters, I think. Oh, there we go. We need to level up. A lot more. Bolt unlock? Was that for me or? Have a jump pad?
Storm tightening.
Not sure what we're doing here. Running around, I guess. There's a train? The hell?
Base camp has spotted an enemy.
Yeah, someone was at our base camp. They captured. Hmm. Let's see. Not sure what we're doing. Oh, base camp here.
Base camp captured.
Someone here, someone here. Yeah, I need to stay inside the zone.
Storm tightening.
What's this one? Tech blade. Weapon. Do I have a
Enemies have
weapon?
captured a
I
soul.
have. Quick blade, power movement speed, and this one, ability haste. Go back in the zone. Come to me over here, over here. Look on my icon. Someone is close. They fighting.
Enemy squad almost eliminated.
Easy,
Triple knock.
easy.
Enemy is down.
Nice. Ah.
Detecting a major monster.
Major monster, what's that? Ability move speed. Ability power. That's mine. Oh, let's go there. They fighting, they fighting. Wait, can I jump this? Let's go around. Oh, they here, they here. This is the zone. Oh, they saw us. Radar. This is the monster here, I think, or something. Oh yeah, major monster. Wanna fight? We can try.
Storm tightening. Half the squad have departed.
Nice, nice. You take it, you take it. That's a red one.
Our UAV is online.
Someone close to us. Oh, we need to go in the zone. You fucked up!
Squad knock.
Easy!
Knocked an enemy.
Yeah, we need to go inside the zone, I think.
Warning. Storm closing.
Yeah, we need to go. Let's go inside the zone. Yeah, no. Let's wait, let's wait. Wait him inside. Come. More people inside here.
That squad has only one survivor.
Bye. Coming back. Heal up.
Storm tightening.
He's healing, he's here.
Hexa knock. Enemy knocked.
I'm healing. You dead?
Enemy UAV online.
Oh, let's go. In zone. Come. Oh shit, I'm dead. These guys are strong.
Ally down.
GG's. Yeah, these guys are strong.
Storm tightening.
Okay. I kind of fumbled a bit there. We got fort. That's not bad. Got fort. We need 2k more to unlock another hunter, I think. Okay, that was not bad. I'm learning. So it doesn't matter what you do, open party, close party, you still get people in your party. Oh well. Okay. I think that's it for today. A bit, as I said, late stream today because I was busy early afternoon and this morning. So we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a longer stream, I think, and probably we'll play some more of this. Maybe first, but the thing is, they're doing the the EU tests are around 7 p.m. my time. They start. That's the thing, and I usually stream earlier than that. I usually end around 7 p.m. That's the thing, you know. But yeah, I mean, the game is cool. Definitely, you need to learn a lot. And I choose the difficult champion to learn. There are a lot of things going on. That's for sure. The monsters, the abilities, you can upgrade a bunch of stuff. You need to kill a bunch of mobs. There are a lot of items. There are players. There are objectives you need to do on the map. Can capture base and stuff. I still didn't. We managed to capture a few of them, but so, and other people can recapture them back. In if they go around your base camp, you can see them on the map. And you can teleport back to the base. I forgot how, but yeah, it's a lot to assimilate in such a short time. Definitely needs extended time to learn and discover everything about the game and the map and all that. The synergy with the champions, the items, abilities, what to upgrade first and all that. But yeah, it's pretty fun so far. I enjoyed the game so far. Looks interesting. I think it's gonna have a market. I think people will play this. Depending, they will have more success on Steam, that's for sure. Not sure if many people will be willing to download their launcher and play there. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys very much for the follows. Thank you for watching, and yeah, seeing you guys tomorrow. I will tweet as usual, so make sure you follow me on Twitter, activate the bell notifications so you know when I tweet. Otherwise you probably won't see the tweet. And yeah, check YouTube, post there some videos from time to time with DayZ and other games, some clips and stuff. You can join Discord if you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll be back tomorrow completing the quest, my quest to get level 20 on all the classes on Dark and Darker. So I have the wizard. I think it's the last which I was playing today. So tomorrow we should be leveling that to 20, and then probably switch class and try to main 1 or 2 classes that I enjoy the more. But yeah, that's it for now. You guys have a great rest of the day, great week, stay safe, take care, and yeah, as usual, see you guys tomorrow. We'll be tweeting before I go live, so make sure to check Twitter. That's about it. I'm out. I'm gonna go eat something and chill for the rest of the day. Guys, stay safe. Until next time, I'm out. Bye bye.